What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 80 of Think Twice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Wilderness Reclamation Aintrazi.
What's up, Justin?
Nothing, just waiting for you to get banned. Or not get banned.
I guess, are we just going to jump into that then?
I feel like it's appropriate because, you know, one thing, we know what our topics are for this week, but we're not... Listed on our topics, we don't have your domination on Arena with Wilderness Reclamation in a blue-white deck, or a blue-green deck. So I think it's only appropriate considering that you were the one making the argument that this card is way too powerful and something's going to get the axe.
And I think I've changed my tune in a way. I think the card is absurd and it creates a game state that's not fun. Mm-hmm. But why don't we get to what the voters thought first? 27% of people agree with you that something's going to get banned while this is cards in standard. 73% of people agree with me that nothing's going to get banned, but you have been dominating with this card. Yeah, I built a Simic Wilderness Reclamation deck with Nexus of Fate. It's really powerful, consistent. Had multiple 5 wins with it on the competitive thing Arena, which is best of 3. And I think it does generate games where people aren't having fun, even the opponent, and obviously the opponent, but even sometimes you feel like kind of bad for doing it almost. Because you know what it feels like.
Yeah, you should feel gross.
Yeah. But I do feel like if they ban this card, they can't just leave mono red alone either. Because mono red almost generates the same kind of game. Sure, they win faster, but right now mono red is kind of like a modern burn deck. Light the stage is obnoxious. 12 bolts is obnoxious. And a couple of Steam they can just combo off and kill you. And it's not very fun either, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, I think if they ban Rampaging Ferocidon and then ban Wilderness Reclamation, that'd probably be fair.
No, I don't think so. I think they need to keep Ferocidon on the ban list and then ban like something
and another
else.
Card?
Yes.
You wouldn't even trade? Give back Ferocidon?
No. Then how do you every deck wins?
Well, you take away what card do you want to take away?
At the very least, light up stage.
At the very least, the best card, which we'll get to, but the best card probably in the red.
Yeah, that card's obnoxious to them. It's one man divination.
You mean, yeah, red. It's like red ancestral recall, pretty much. It's the closest thing.
Sure. It's too good.
All right, so we'll give back Ferocidon. We'll take away light up the stage. What?
We'll take up light up the stage and keep Ferocidon banned.
No, I think you just give back that card. Just give it back. That's so many 3-drops. It's a 3-drop for a 3-drop. Light up the stage's converted mana cost is 2 in a red. You know it, I know it. Regardless of what people cast it for, that's their business.
No, Ferocidon really has menace. And then you get punished for playing things like Tristani. No, I'm good.
All right. Anyway, well, other than smashing people in Arena with Wilderness Reclamation while you still have time, what else did you do over last week?
I played a ton of Arena, actually. I played some pre-release. I played with John Taylor on Friday. We played Two-Head Giant.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry. Was that Friday? Yes, Friday. We went whatever, 4 or 5, I can't remember. And Saturday I played with Allison, and then I streamed more, and then I went to go watch, I guess that was a little weekend. On Monday, I watched Glass.
Okay. That's similar to mine. I only played one pre-release. I chose Rakdos. Ended up playing a Mardu deck, and I went 3-1, only losing to turn 6 and turn 7 Ethereal Absolution from my opponent in both games.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah. I had my own, but they drew it, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So they won and I didn't.
It's kind of beating.
Yeah.
The card is like the best rare for draft limited, I think.
It's the best card in the set, yeah. For limited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's obnoxious.
I did play it one time and then my opponent had Rhythm of the Wild out and then played Sunder Shaman and killed it.
Oof.
I still won that game, but I was like, oh, very tricksy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an obnoxious card. But
which one? They both are.
So you think Sunder? I don't think Sunder Shaman's obnoxious. I think the card's fine. It's pushed, but it's not. I don't think it's too good, especially not.
No, I don't think it's too good, but I do think it's obnoxious.
Yeah, that effect can be frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, especially when you blow your deck around like those cards. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, let's before we move on, let's remind people that next week on the Pop Culture Section show, we're going to be watching the movie Prodigy on Netflix. If you have Netflix, you have a week to watch the movie Prodigy so you can join in that conversation. And of course, we want to thank everyone that's listening on one of our platforms: SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and Spotify. If you guys could leave a short review, perhaps share the show, all that good stuff. It all is very helpful. Just sending out information about the show to other people on social media. That's always great. That is the easiest way for you guys to grow the show with the least amount of effort. So that is much appreciated. All right, Ollie, maybe not you, but everyone else, I'm sure is ready for us to talk about all of the best cards in Ravnica Allegiance as we go to 5 top 5s, which is all red cards. We've decided it's 25 red cards. We're just going to list them down the line.
No, that'd be no.
Just too much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we're gonna take a quick break. When we return, we're gonna do Ravnica Allegiance 5 top 5s. All right, Ollie. During the break, we've decided to not have our rankings of the best 25 red cards out of respect for you and your enjoyment of having a life total.
Thank Tybalt. I
don't know if you want to thank Tybalt. Tybalt has the highest concentration of red mana symbols of any planeswalker in Magic.
That's not true.
That definitely is true.
Jaya has triple red.
But Jaya has 60% red mana symbols in her casting cost. Tybalt has 100%.
Oh my god. We're moving.
All right. So anyway, as we always do, we're going to go through and have top 5 lists for 5 different categories regarding cards in Ravnica Allegiance. You ready?
I'm ready.
List number 1. Top 5 sleepers in Ravnica Allegiance.
This is actually one of my first brews. I'm going to go number 5. I'm going to go with Gate stuff. This is like Gates Ablaze, Plays of Harmony.
Okay. I was going to say, what does Gate stuff do? I must have missed that one, but all right, now I got you.
Yeah, all the Gate stuff. I played it in Lich, and then like, let's say maybe 3-4 days later, other people start playing with Gates. You know, because people always like behind Ollie. That's apparently how it works.
Course, well, man, that's just how it works. Thus is life. That is kind of the cycle, the life cycle of a new set release.
Ollie plays a deck, then other people start playing it.
Yep. Or
similar. Anyways, Gate stuff. I think it's good. I think it's sleeper. I think eventually we'll have a solid Gate deck somewhere. Coming at number 4 is Seraph of the Scales. It's just surprising how like good this card is. It is it's a black-white for 4/3.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay a white or a black to give it Vigilance or Death Touch respectively. Then it has Afterlife 2. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like a black-white rekindling Phoenix, and that's a good way to, I guess, describe it.
That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong.
Yeah. That has synergy with Lyra, and is and you won't feel terrible casting Kaya's Wrath in this card in the same deck. So
yeah, that's true. That's certainly true.
Number 3 is Warrant Warden. It is the Azorius split card. Warrant puts an attacking or blocking creature on top of an opponent's deck. I think this is very important because we played cards like Seal Away before, and I think Warrant is just a better card mostly because of the other half, which is Warden. That puts a 4/4 Sphinx with Vigilance, basically Sarah Angel.
Mm-hmm.
And also, people can't blow up your Sealaways.
Yeah, that's really
important. And get their stuff back. Yeah.
Especially with, I feel like going forward, enchantments are probably going to be a little more fragile.
Yes.
With Mortify around. Yeah.
Also, there are times too, man, where your opponent attacks, and they're like, they're hellbent, or they have cards that are dead, and you like warrant their land relic back on top of their deck on turn 4 or 5, and it's like that's the worst draw possible. So
yeah. And even against something like mono red, tempo is obviously critical to their game plan, because if the game goes on long enough, they're just not going to win because the power of their cards are lower in relative to everything else, but they're so fast and they can cast so many of them at the same time. But if you can save damage by putting a creature in, almost like a Goblin Chain Whirler is probably the best thing. Put it on back on top of their deck, then
or Steamkin.
Yeah, Steamkin's a good one too. Then they lose a lot of that tempo.
Yep, I agree. Then having to draw that creature again instead of a burn spell is a pretty big deal, because they usually get you down really low.
They gotta spend their turn casting it again.
Yep, they usually get down. They usually get down really low, and then like they start having to top deck a burn spell, and they usually do. But this way, you guarantee like they don't for at least a turn.
Yeah.
Number 2 is one that is not saying play right now, but I think it's a very powerful card. It's Spawn of Mayhem. It is a converted mana cost 2 black and 2 for a 4/4 flying. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, both players take 1 damage. Then if your life total is 10 or less, put a +1/+1 counter on Spawn of Mayhem, and then have Spectacle for black 1. So a 3-drop that starts attacking for 5 as early as turn 4, and turns on all your Flying Trample, and turns on all your Spectacle cards, is pretty obnoxious. This is the reason to play Rakdos. It's kind of mono red for sure.
Yep.
So I think this is like one of the strongest mythics in the set, if not the strongest. Like, it's definitely power creeped. So I expect to see it find a home somewhere eventually.
It's just
too strong not to.
Yeah, it's too powerful. This card is pushed really hard, like real hard.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Number 1 sleeper is a pretty inconspicuous card. It's Hero of Precinct 1. It's just a 2/2, and it says whenever you cast a multicolored spell, you put a 1/1 white soldier token onto the battlefield. And they're just like random, like even if you're like 2 colors, they're just random cards that let you trigger the ability. Like even like Warrant Warden.
Yep.
I mean, it's technically a hybrid card, but you can also pay one card mana for it. There's Incubation, and then Inauguration, with the one that like pungifies or digs 5 deep for a creature. That also triggers Hero of Precinct 1. There's just like a bunch of like random cards that trigger this card, like Deputy Retention, Dovin, a lot more than you think. And I think this card, after playing with it a couple times, I realized it goes really, really wide, very easily.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Yeah. So this is the card that I agree with you most on, which is appropriate because it's the number 1 sleeper. This is a card that was kind of, when I read the spoiler, I was like, oh, this seems pretty good. But in practice, this functions pretty similarly to Young Pyromancer. As a
mono creature, yeah.
Yeah, and I actually think that the power level is pretty comparable. And I started calling it when I was playing with it during the early access event. I was calling it Young People Mancer.
Yeah.
Because it makes humans. This card, I think this card is insane. I think even beyond standard, this card is playable in modern, probably.
I mean, as much as Parameters, I don't see why this isn't. I've seen like some people play like those like 5-color creature decks with like all the lands that do that, like the Spires, not the Spires, whatever it's called.
Twin of Parons, Pillar of the Parons.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that one. So I mean, nothing else that helps that deck out.
Yeah.
Or you just.
Yeah, and you start looking for, you're like, what is the cheapest thing I can cast that is 2 colors? So once you start finding those cards, and even modern, like cards that have a decently high power level, they just don't see very much play. Like Figure Destiny is like not embarrassing. Things like Lightning Helix, just stuff like that. Just the 1 and 2 mana spells. I think there's a lot of them.
Metamorphose even is fine.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Yep. So I fully agree with that. Hero Precinct 1, definitely a big sleeper. Okay. On the other hand, what are the top 5 most overhyped cards in the set?
I don't think anyone's super hyped about this, but I've seen people actually hyped about this card. Like I've seen comments of people saying, oh, "This is awesome, this is great," and it just blows my mind. So I'm putting a 5 just in case someone thinks it's good.
Sure.
That is the Simic rare split card, Repudiate, and Replicate. This card is terrible. Okay, its front side is 2 mana Stifle. Stifle's already unplayable in standard by itself. A 2 mana 1 is super unplayable, and then Replicate is just a sorcery speed. It's just quasi duplicate without the jumpstart. And it's also harder to cast because blue-green instead of blue-blue, in my opinion. Maybe it's easier to cast. Regardless, this card's terrible. If you think this card's good, probably it's not. Get rid of it. Sell it. Do something with it.
I mean, I don't know how much you could sell it for. It's a bulk rare.
We'll trade it. Do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I haven't heard anyone say this is good, but you hang around a lot of different Simic related blue-green circles, so
yeah,
maybe you're in more conversations where people are excited about this.
I've seen it, man. I just don't. Even some people in chat, I just don't get it. Anyways,
I think this is the worst of all 10 split cards in the set, and
easily.
I think it's be a pretty wide margin.
I think the problem is people don't understand. I think it's not understanding what exactly a countered and triggered ability is. So when you first see, you're like, oh, 2 mana counter spell, this has to be good, right? But people, I think it's the same effect you have when you first see Stifle. Like, oh, this card's good.
That's not my response, but I do understand that's a lot of people's.
The first time you see it, I think it is.
I hated that card the moment I saw it. I was like, this card looks like it does nothing. But yes, a lot of people are drawn to best case scenarios with those type cards.
Yeah, it's also it's hard to know. Not everybody knows what exactly an activator or treat ability is. I think it's the biggest part. But once you understand, you realize how bad this card is. Okay, so next card is top four overhyped card. I think it's Angel of Grace.
You love this card.
Huh?
You love this card.
In theory.
Okay.
In practice, it's not that great. Like, it's fine. Like, it'll probably see play, but if it sees play, it's literally just because it's a 5/4 flash. The other abilities never happen. Like, against mono red, you'd much rather have Lyra or Shalai, because you flash this in, you go to 1, it's still in play, it's not dying, and then you're still at 1, and you're probably dead. Unless you have like 4 of these in your deck, and you're going Angel of Grace OT, Angel of Grace, and your opponent doesn't want to cast an instant speed spell on your turn.
I've killed someone with both of the triggers on the stack before.
Oh man!
Like with the gain 10 on the stack and with the enter the battlefield. Yeah. Now this is with a red deck, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Lyra is better. If you're trying to beat red, like I think Lyra is miles better. I don't think it's close.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be like a flash type deck, I still think it's medium. I'm much rather play like a Filled Mystic if you could fit it in instead of Angel of Grace. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were higher on this card than me. You get the go ahead, so.
Yeah, I was. After some play, I just don't see it.
Okay. All right. Number 3 card
is Benthic Biomancer. It is a 1-drop with 1/1. You can pay a blue and 1 to put to adapt for 1, and if it adapts, you draw a card and discard a card. So it's like a Silver Glow Adept that is discard a card, and you have to pay 2 extra, 3 total for it.
You have to pay 1. You have to pay 1 more blue, but yeah.
Yeah, one more blue. This card's just not good. I don't see it. People like it in their Merfolk deck, or they think that's decent in like a Phoenix deck, or even decent in Mono Blue Tempo, and I just no. This card is not good. I don't even know why it's a rare. It should be uncommon.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily matter for how good a card is or not, but I mean, I think that the fact that this is a Merfolk and a wizard is attracting people to this card, and I think it's cute, and it looks like it's doing stuff, and most of the time it's just not. I played against someone where they went turn 1 this, turn 2 they adapted it, and then turn 3 they played like a the 1/1 Merfolk, green Merfolk that puts a +1/+1 counter on another Merfolk you control.
Yeah.
They did that. Then they played something else that gave another counter. Oh, the instant that gives a +1/+1 counter to 2 different Merfolk you control.
Sure.
Did that. I was like, all right. And then next turn they played the Merfolk for 1 and a green. I literally can't remember any of these creatures' names right now.
Deep Root Elite.
Deep Root Elite, yes. Deep Root Elite, and they played another one, put another counter on it, and it's just like, all right, well, I mean, they're filtering a lot, but the cards that they're drawing are just all of these same cards.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, all right, like this is like the thing was like, I was like, that's the best case scenario for this card. They put a counter on it like 3 turns in a row.
And loot, yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I was just like, well, this is you spent all of your resources into making this a 4/4, and then you cast like Careful Study.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like, all right, well, now what?
Yeah, it never gives you like actual card advantage. It's just like filtering, and I don't know. I don't think it's good.
Yeah, and you have to. Well, it's too many hoops. You have to jump through so many hoops just to do that.
And the payoff is like seems
minimal.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that there's not going to be games where this is good, but I think you have to play a lot of games for this to be good. And I think if you're finding success with this card, or you believe you are, you're probably being results oriented and like, see, I look at this awesome thing that it did. And then it's like all the other, 10 games you played where this was either bad or very, very expensive for what you're trying to do. It's just, it just makes it not worth it. Probably never, ever worth it.
All right. Number 2, I'm going to go with Electro Dominance. People still love this card. I asked a bunch about what I think about this card, at least like 5 times every day I stream by different people. And I'm just going to say it again. This card, it happens a lot. I swear. I think this card is not basically unplayable. It's definitely just like a meme. But you're better off casting anything else instead of this card for whatever money you put into it. This card is just not good. It's fun. I'll give you that. It's definitely fun, and I'm sure I'll play it.
It's going to create some awesome moments, I'm sure.
Exactly. Yes, but overall, the card's just not good.
Yep. And honestly, like, I will say, if that's what you're going for, if you want to just pull off something ridiculous, then this is a great card for that. But it's not. If you're trying to be efficient and do something that is I don't want to say do something that's good, but do something that's like consistently powerful, then this is...
Yeah, if people are saying this card is cool, this card is fun, I would not disagree. But I keep seeing this card is broken, this card is busted, this card is too good.
No,
it's just like
it's
no.
not. It's not. Speaking of, I've heard a lot of the same thing about our number one card.
Yeah, I've heard it infinite. Before before it was released, I was skeptical, like super skeptical. Then now after it's a card, I'm just like, yeah, this card is not good.
No.
And at number one is Sphinx of Foresight.
If only the people that believed this was the best card in the set, which I heard from multiple people, not
Me
just
too.
like one person.
No,
if only they
people.
had the foresight to look at how this card would operate in practice, to realize that this is like this card is a deck building trap. In
Absolutely.
my opinion.
Yes, actually. So my side review for this card, I basically said, if you build your deck correctly, you won't need the Sky 3. And then people are saying, oh, this card is fine as a 4-mana 4/4 flyer, and it's like, no, it's not.
No, because that's not a fun card.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
huh?
Yeah, because that's not a fun card for constructed.
Exactly. Like people always say, oh, a 4/4 flyer. Exact words. A 4/4 flyer. There's nothing to scoff at. Yes, it is. A 4/4 flyer for 4 is terrible.
In constructed, yeah, it is.
Yeah, but people think it's fine, and it's not fine because it's literally unplayable. Compare this like to Crackling Drake. It's ridiculous. Compare it to other 4-drops like Frenzy. Compare it to Shalai. Compare it to Karn. All the other 4-drops in Standard do so much more work, and this card is like a 4-mana 4/4 that scries 1 on your upkeep. Well, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, I mean, like, what deck wants this?
No deck.
No deck.
I was playing an all-in combo deck, the blue-green Waters Regulation, and I never even considered this card ever to even be playable in this deck any time. So it's not combo. It's not control. Control doesn't want this card.
No, because they don't want a 4/4 flyer for 4.
Yeah, aggro doesn't want it.
Sorcery speed. If this had flash, we would be talking about a completely different card, but it doesn't.
Yeah, maybe mono blue, Curious Obsession. But honestly, if you're playing mono blue, well, let's be honest, you're always gonna have a turn 1 miss. You're always gonna have turn 1 Miscall Herald, turn 2 Curious Obsession with dive down Spell Pierce. Like, you know that. We know that. I know that.
Either way, there's no way you're like, oh, I know what I'm going to do to add consistency in my deck. I'm going to put a card that costs more than all the rest of the cards in my deck. Like, come on. Because that's what's going to happen. Because you're going to do this. You're going to try this card out in that deck, and you're going to draw one time on your first turn, and you're like,
and throw it away.
Never again. Yeah. Never again. This could have been any other card that's cheaper than 4. Yeah. No, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
If I could like maybe exile it from my deck before the game started in Scry 3, I guess then that'd be busted. But yeah, anyways, never mind.
Well, yeah, then that'd be insane. Yeah, that'd be insane.
Yeah. Okay. As is, the card is terrible.
All right. List number 3, and this, I guess, this one for me. Top 5 most underpriced cards in Ravnica Allegiance. All right. Card number 5 is Enray's Forerunners. This is another in a long line of Craterhoof Behemoth clones. Now, they're all worse than Craterhoof Behemoth. However, this is one that you can get for like nothing, like bulk rates, like anywhere. Like I found this online from the most I've found it expensive wise is $1, and you can find it for like $0.25. This card is going to be this card is just going to be a staple in Commander, and it has the power to make it in Constructed. Like you were telling me about like the Elf Ball deck that you played against last week. This card's going to be around for like another almost 2 years in Standard. Like if there's a home for this, then this becomes like an insane finisher. And the fact that the casual command, or not the casual command, the casual demand is going to keep this card being purchased for the next X years. Like there's no way this card is just going to be $1. It's just not.
Yeah, I can see playing in the Elf deck, or she plays one of, if you want to go that high and price prime speaker advantage for your deck.
Yeah, and being a 1-of doesn't change too much, but if like it's a part of your strategy, and I think the elf deck is a really good example, then this, I mean that combined with, again, casual appeal, which I think a lot of people that don't play Commander or other casual formats realize how much that affects price, but it does pretty significantly. And this is like a forever card that until it gets reprinted, I think is going to just slowly increase in price. So you can get it for nothing now. So if you want it, I'd recommend just picking up your set. You can pick it up for a couple bucks. Pick it up a whole set for a couple bucks. All right, number 4. This is actually a reprint. And it's probably not the one that everyone thinks, because it's not a Shockland and it's not Mortify. It is Absorb. I don't know if people have checked the price of Invasion Absorb, but it's 3 to 4 times the price of this Absorb. The price history for this card was very good when it was in standard. We've seen rare counterspells, like playable counterspells, hit $6, $7, $8. Disallow most recently did that, and this you can get for around 2 right now. So there are a lot of really good counterspells in standard, and more so than when Disallow was in standard. But if you're playing blue-white, and Ali, we were talking about how good mono red is.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like we're a broken record on this podcast, but Absorb is a card that's ahead of its time, because it's like the first card that did a thing and then gained you life too, just like incidentally.
Yeah.
And I think people have realized to how powerful that is. And this is like the first one, and 3 life is a significant amount again. So
dude, for the longest time, I was trying to convince people that Absorb to play over Sinister Sabotage, and people kept disagreeing with me. People kept saying no.
You know what it won't is when you don't have white.
Yes.
And if you do, then it will 100% of the time, 100 times out of 100.
Dude, people kept saying no, the Surveil one's important. Like, I understand the Surveil one's important. I get it. I promise you I get it. But Absorb in a format that's mid-range and aggro is miles better, just so much better than Sinister Sabotage. It's 2 cards. It's basically 2 cards where it's like it's a small fog.
Yeah. No, it does. Absorber says counter target spell and counter a spell your opponent played last turn. Yeah,
or lets you play your Shockland and play on tap and not like feel terrible about it.
Yeah.
Absorb is huge.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's cheap right now. This is not going to be the case forever, because this is the beginning of a format, and we have one of the most powerful blue-white cards that's ever existed in Teferi. So there's no way that this card goes without seeing significant play in the time that's in standard. So get them now while they're cheaper.
Yep.
Number 3 and number 2 are cards that Ali actually talked about in his top 5 sleepers, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on them. Warrant Warden is an extremely powerful card. This card is also outrageously cheap right now. I think you can probably get this for $1 or so, maybe even less than that if you kind of search around. But I mean, this is. I'll just say this. And this card is not a Azorius Charm, because Azorius Charm you could draw a card with, but as we were talking about the effect, it's too versatile, and blue-white is going to be too good. And if you're playing this is probably going to be a 4 of, and those are always good cards to look out for price raising. Cards that see significant numbers in deck building, which is a slight spoiler for our number 1 card, but this is one that I also think is pretty underpriced. And then number 2 is Hero Precinct 1. I think this is one of the best cards in the set overall, which is pretty crazy because I think this set is really powerful. But I think this card is insane. Like we spent a lot of time talking about it, but I think the upside on this card is pretty huge. So you can get it for around $3 right now, which I think is probably going to be a steal at some point. And then the number 1 card, this is kind of cheating, but kind of not. It's a common, which I don't think I would ever say this for most underpriced cards, because commons, you're like, oh, I can just pick these up anywhere. Well, when the common is Persistent Petitioners with the line, you can play any amount of these in a deck, regardless of the format. So standard, commander, pauper, what have you. It's a mill card, which always fetch a premium compared to cards that, you know,
don't mill.
Seriously, generic cards. These are around $1 everywhere right now. If you can get them for, I would buy pretty much any one you could find for under $1. Because this is not a card that is like an easy reprint, so to speak. And mill cards are extremely popular. And things like Rat Colony and Ravenous Rats and, oh my gosh.
Burglar Rat?
The best example. No. Shadowborn Apostle, which is the best example. Do you know what Shadowborn Apostle is? You remember, you know what that card I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the demon one, yeah.
Okay. Shadowborn Apostle currently, I'm just going to look on Star City Games. We could be a little bit higher, but it'll give you a pretty good idea. Shadowborn Apostle is $5.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yep. This is where this card is going. Persistent Petitioner, this is where this card is going. Is a $4 or $5 card. Probably not at time and standard, but let me tell you, eventually, Ravnica Allegiance booster packs will stop being opened. And when they do, when they stop being opened and the next set starts being opened, and this card is not just being opened all the time, the stock dries up eventually. So that's my number one card, common. Okay. List number 4, top 5 commander cards. Do you want to start us off with this one?
Sure. Number 5, coming at number 5 is Mirror March. This is just a fun card. It's a 6 cost enchantment. It says whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under control, you flip a coin. Basically heads, you make a copy of it. Tails, you don't. And I think it's exiled EOT. This is just a fun card that I can see people in Commander where you cast big spells, big creature spells, becomes better and better. So like casting things like something like Creditor Behemoth or Endrace Forerunner or whatever, Avenger of Zendikar or Zealous Conscripts, just whatever.
Yeah,
it's just super sweet. And also if you like throw in like Crack's Thumb, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
that was called. Yeah, basically just redo your flips. Like you can have a sweet like coin flip deck with even like Rakdos if you want to as your commander. So it's just a fun deck.
For sure. I mean, and the fact, I mean, just to clarify, because I wasn't sure if I heard right, but you flip until you lose a flip.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you win the first flip, you do it again.
Yes.
You know, if you're reflipping and having cards that say like reflip your coin, I mean, you could just make, 5 or 6 of these. Copies.
And if you're a professional Magic player, just get like 10 heads in a row, obviously because you're professional, and then just win the game.
Yeah, pretty easy.
Yep, easy.
And then once you finish beating people at Wednesday Night Commander at your LGS, you can go back to the Pro Tour.
Exactly.
Knowing that you've dominated all those kids and their lives will be changed forever.
Yep.
All right. Number 4 card. This is a card that I feel like this is a card that it's fantastic in Commander, but I think this has Ali Aintrazi's standard deck written all over it.
Yeah. I've already started thinking about this card today, actually.
Excellent. That is Tome of the Guild Pact. And Tome of the Guild Pact is a 5-mana artifact. It taps to add 1 mana of any color, but also says whenever you cast a multicolored spell, draw a card.
That's fantastic.
It is. It actually is. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot of multicolored cards running around in Commander. In fact, all of them.
I kind of wish it cost 4. I think it'd be much better for standard if it cost 4. But even as is, the upside of this card is pretty huge, especially if you start using like multicolored removal spells like Bedevil, Mortify, Warrant, Warden. Discovery is also a hybrid card. So, and then you can start like actually just going pretty crazy with these. And like the brew I was thinking about while I was in the shower thoughts, was like Tome of the Guild Pact, 4 colors, not red, and then playing, you also play like a Vivid Renewal to rebuy the multicolored cards in your graveyard.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And like I was thinking like, okay, so we have Thought Erasure, We have some removal spells in Warrant Warden. We have Growth Spiral, which is fantastic. It also triggers us later in the game. It helps get to it faster. There's a lot of cards that are inconspicuous, but like
all the hybrid cards in guilds and Ravnica Allegiance, like the front half costs like either 1 or 2.
Yeah,
on like all of them. So
yeah,
I feel like those are the cards you're like kind of looking at.
Yeah, and it makes things like Orzhov Basilica much better. Obviously it makes all multiple cards. The black white 3/4 comes in play. Opponents discard a card, you gain 3 life.
Oh, Basilica Bellhaunt.
Oh, sorry.
Orzhov Basilica is the bounce land from
oh, my bad.
Like Guild Pack.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, we got it.
Yep, that one. Side note or side quest, I think that card in itself is playable. The Basilica Bellhaunt against Burn. I think it's fantastic. Burn against Burn card. Burn deck,
I had it played against me last night. Twice. Two of them.
In standard?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I lost.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That is like it basically says gain 9 life and with more. Like if you like with an
against mono red, yes.
Yeah, against mono red. Because they discard a card. And I did not discard a land.
Yeah.
And then they gained 3, and then I couldn't attack with my, I guess it was like gain 8. Couldn't attack with my
creatures.
Via Shine of Pyromancer. So like, all right. Well, that was brutal. And they played another one 2 turns later, and I was like, all right, it's next game. It. Move on to the next game.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Card number 3 is Prime Speaker Vanifar, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this card is great, but you better make sure you got a plan, and you also better make sure that your plan isn't too good, because this is a card that's going to draw a lot of heat, and once people kind of figure out if like what you're doing with this, whatever it is, and if it's combo-y, that's not going to be something that people are going to be interested in playing with too frequently. So just for a heads up, make it fun. Don't make it too powerful. Don't make it if you untap with this card, you win the game.
I'm actually excited to play this card more so in Brawl than for Commander, because I think it's much more fair in like a standard format.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of seeing Niv-Mizzet Perunes everywhere. So,
what about this card in Singleton on Arena? Because that way you're not limited to blue and green.
I mean, I'll play it there too, but I still understand why there's no Brawl on Arena.
Because there's not. I don't know.
All right, Wizards, put Brawl on Arena. Thank you.
There you go. Heard it from Ali, so now they'll probably do it.
Next card. Next card is called Guardian Project. It says whenever you play a creature, draw a card.
In Commander, that's what it says. Yeah, it's an enchantment. It says whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, draw a card. So in Commander, whenever a creature card, so a non-token, a creature card enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. Also, you don't have to cast it. That's notable too.
As long as you're not playing like persistent petitioners.
That's right. Which you shouldn't be, because you're not a jerk, so you're not doing that. Yeah,
this seems like insane in an elf deck or a ramp deck.
I think it's probably just good. I think it's probably just good in any deck, because green
is green card draw.
Yeah. Not that green has a trouble with that in Commander necessarily, but this is a good one. I like enchantment based card draw a lot, actually.
Back in my day, we had to play Tower of Fortunes in green decks to draw cards. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was like the best. That was like the best of the best.
But this is I do like this card. It is not as good as my number 1 card for Commander, which is, I think this is just the best card that's for this format, and is so needed, and that's Smothering Tithe, which is a white enchantment that says whenever an opponent draws a card, they can pay 2 colorless mana. If they don't, you create a treasure token. Yeah, it's great. People draw a lot of cards in Commander.
No one wants to pay 2.
No, people don't want to pay 1 for Rhystic Study. There's no way they're paying 2 for a single treasure token.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a card, it's just a token. But yeah, I think this card is great in Commander. I also think it's actually surprisingly good in Standard, because I cast this card, and then I cast Emergency Powers, then I put Thousand Year Storm into play with Emergency Powers, and then I had 7 treasures, and I basically got a combo off.
Yeah, just by casting Emergency Power.
And Smelling Tithe in play, because
they
do 7 cards. It basically made Emergency Powers free, which made Thousand Year Storm free from Emergency Powers.
Yeah. And
then I had 7 treasures, and now that's just like, I cast Pirate's Pillage one time, and the game's over.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty gross. All right.
Very fun card.
I'm down for that. I'm down for seeing that. All right.
I'm also even like a cool like Revel and Riches thing is sweet with that card. So
and that was a deck that I played. I played that Abzan Treasures deck that had Smothering Tide, Revel and Riches, Treasure Map, and Vraska in it to try to win that way. So
sweet.
All right, Ollie. To end the top 5, the 5 top 5s, the last top 5 list, top 5 cards for Standard in 2 months' time. So middle of March. What are the best cards from this set for Standard?
All right. I want to go with number 5, with his Growth Chamber Guardian. I think this card is starting to see a little bit of play now, but it is like the Sylvan Advocate of this format. Instead of like becoming a 4 or 5 later in the game, make your creature lands do a lot of damage, it just accrues card advantage. It's also very powerful in like a Frilled Mystic type deck, like a tempo deck. And this card also triggers anytime you put a counter on it. So if you have creatures that put counters on it, you can get more of these just from your one Ghost Chamber Guardian. And like just being a 4/4 is powerful for 2 mana. And drawing a card is just very solid card.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I think this card is going to be all over the place.
Yeah, I think so too. Number 4 is one that I think is also kind of a sleeper. People are maybe slowly starting to realize it, but it's Deputy of Detention. This card is the Reflector Mage, Spell Queller, Detention Sphere cycle, where they all see a ton of play, especially the ones that are creature based. This is the same thing. It's going to see a lot of play. This card's also like $2 now or $3. Pick them up if you think you're going to play them, because this card will see a lot of play.
Also, this was Commander Versus' preview card. Deputy Detention.
Nice. I think this single-handedly hurts tokens enough to make the archetype like Thinktwice while playing it. After people realize how good this card is. All right, number 3 is Wilderness Reclamation.
Wait, what does this card do? I've never heard of it.
Yes. I think this card will spawn tons of Nexus of Fate decks. Obviously, we've already seen the hype around it. We've seen it in Arena. We've seen it, people whining about it. We've seen it being talk of banned already. Card's great. It's going to continue to remain great. Especially, I feel figure out how to tune their decks and make it better and better.
Which is a scary thought.
Yep. Number 2, I'm going to jam these two together. It's Light of the Stage and Skewer the Critics. These are great Rakdos cards that are both played in just mono red. Fantastic. Thank you, Rakdos, for your black-red cards. I kind of wish these cards... It's kind of funny, the Rakdos, and like there's people... They forgot the black mana cost, man. They forgot the black mana cost.
Did they?
I kind of wish it was like red, 2/2, Spectacle, black mana. 1 black.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Light of the Stage is just red Ancestral Recall.
Right. And Skewer, I wish it was like a red 2, and then Spectacle, 1 black. Like, actually make them Rakdos cards instead of...
That would be cool. But instead, they're both red, and they're both insane, and they're both probably playable in
mono red.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say modern.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
And I actually think Light of the Stage is probably legacy playable too.
they're both 100% playable in modern. I'm not sure about Legacy. You're a Legacy expert. I'll let you do that. But
yeah, I think a lot of the stage is playable in Legacy also. Definitely playable in modern. But
oh, yeah, easily. The last card honestly kind of surprised me. Might surprise you too. Is Hydroid Crassus or Crisis? I'm not sure how you say that.
Well, I don't know. You're the one that's cast it the most, so why don't you tell us?
I call it Crisis. But people have corrected me to say Crassus. Anyways, I'll go Crisis. Hydroid Crisis. This card is just fantastic. I think this will be played in... I play it currently in Simic Wilderness for the combo aspect and as a finisher. And I play it early. I can bounce it later with blink of an eye, then replay it again to get more life, draw more cards. I think it's playable in mid-range decks. And I even think it's playable like late game in like a Bant tempo style deck, like Castfield Mystic. I mean, casting this on 6 for 2 cards and 2 life as a 4/4 flyer is fine. It's great. It's like a Muldrifter, but that has trample and it's bigger.
Yep. And
then late game, it's just obnoxious. And the fact that like you can cast it and then draw 2 cards, gain 2 life, and even if it gets countered, makes it better than Muldrifter when you hard cast it.
Yeah. The thing that's impressed me the most about this card, honestly, is it's rare that you have huge creatures that it actually encourages you to play like 4 of. And this is a card that I think like kind of like the first one just makes the second one better, which makes the third one better.
Yeah. Yep.
That's impressive. It's a good card. This is a card that I was sleeping on initially at first, and I've turned around on.
I mean, yeah. People ask me what card are you most excited to play with, and this was number one. This and Ghost Spiral were the more cards I kept answering all the time. I even had a command in my Twitch channel that said, what are the cards you're most excited for? And the plugin was literally Ghost Spiral and Hydroid Crisis.
Yeah.
And I'm not disappointed by Hydroid Crisis. This card's sweet and powerful.
I think it's great. I think it's great. It's a card you're going to cast a lot more than I am, but it is something, like I said, that I've turned around on. I wasn't as hot on it when I first saw it, mainly because I was like, I don't know how to evaluate this, but I guess it's good. It seems good. It seems like people are just jamming it in every deck possible, which is good. That's a good sign for a card's longevity.
Yeah, I think being able to get tiered up by Militia Bugler is also just fantastic. So
that's true. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's it. 5 top 5s. Anything else to add on any of these lists?
Nope. That's it for me.
Great. All right. In that case, we're going to take a quick break and be back in just a moment. You and I both, over the weekend, or over the last week, went to go see the movie Glass, the M. Night Shyamalan written and directed vehicle.
By M. Night Shyamalan.
That's what I just said. It said the M. Night Shyamalan written and directed vehicle.
Shyamalan. I'm a fan of M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
And I actually like this movie a lot.
Yeah. By the way, no spoilers for now, but go ahead.
Yeah, no spoilers, but I liked it a lot. I enjoyed how he combined all the stories together and how he made them work. I just liked it. I don't know. Do you think he planned this from Unbreakable or no way?
No.
So he probably planned it after Split came out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely not Unbreakable. Unbreakable, that movie was almost 20 years ago, man.
I know. Yeah. I thought the same thing, but I just want to ask. I really liked it. I liked the story. And I liked how... It's really, I'm always the one that has a hard time talking before spoilers, so I'll let you go.
Okay. So Glass is a sequel to the movie Unbreakable and the movie Split, kind of jointly, as we learned... And spoilers for Split, I guess, that movie was revealed at the end. The twist was that it was taking place in the Unbreakable universe.
Yes.
And we learn that that happened in real time, as in Split took place, you know, in the actual amount of time that it took place after Unbreakable, as far as like actual real time. So this movie takes place that much time after Unbreakable also. And we learn that that David Dunn, which is Bruce Willis's character, has been kind of monitoring the streets, kind of doing a little low-level vigilante justice type deal, like a poor man's Daredevil.
Yeah,
which is because Daredevil's like a poor man's Batman. But either way,
poor man's Punisher.
Well, not Punisher.
Okay.
Punisher kills people to get rid of them. So that's I think that's an important distinction. Anyway, kind of just doing little like street level stuff to right wrongs that he sees. And it follows up with what happened in Split, with James McAvoy's Wendell Crumb / the Horde / the Beast / all the stuff that happened in Split. And and that kind of just follows that story to where it goes. And it is a very comic book movie. Both.
It also reminded me of the Reckoners, kind of, in a way, because of the superheroes and how they all have like one weakness. Like if you watch Split, you kind of saw his weakness. If you watch Glass, you saw his weakness as well. He's just like super fragile. And Unbreakable, if you watch Unbreakable, which is like 20 years old, not really a spoiler, you know he's weak to water. And the same thing with Reckoners. Like there's like different superheroes, and they all have like one weakness. That's like at least one that's like kind of neuters them.
So yeah, it is very fantasy-esque, and it tries to kind of put a real world spin on it. Like, what if these people existed in the real world, and how would that happen? Like, what would go about things, and how would that work? How would these people interact? Yeah. And that's explored a lot. It's explored a lot deeper than the previous two movies. Yeah,
and also the movie goes in depth about, like, you know, are they really superheroes, or is it all in their head? Like you see that in the trailer. Like, that's the trailer, where they are like basically are asking or saying you have illusions of grandeur or superhero. Like, you're not really a superhero though.
Yep.
We all know in Shyamalan has a whole head thing of like kind of like plot twists at the end, or
that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
So what are you rating this?
I'm gonna 4 stars.
Okay.
You?
I had a lot of problems with this movie.
Okay.
And ultimately, I did not care for the plot very much. I think that the acting was good, but they weren't given a lot to work with. Specifically, even with Split, like, James McAvoy is pretty insane to be able to do what he does in either of these two movies. So credit to him for basically having like acting several different characters. Yeah. I always hate when directors like put themselves in their own movie. So this movie's losing like half a star, even though we don't do half stars, but that's how much it would be losing for that.
Is he in it?
Yeah, he's the guy that comes and talks in the beginning of the movie to David Dunn's son, and then he comes out and he's like, "I'm gonna go for a walk." He's like, "I don't think you should go for a walk right now, Dad. You're tired." And he's like, "Just let your dad go for a walk. What's the big deal?"
Oh, okay.
That's him. Well, he puts himself in all of his movies because he thinks very highly of himself, I believe.
Okay.
Anyway, I just never a fan of that. Either way, it's gonna be difficult for me to talk about this movie without spoilers, but I'm giving this 2 stars.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I I didn't love it. And everyone else liked it more than me. Actually, Levi didn't like it that much. Parker really liked it, and Meredith liked it. Though I think when I started talking about it, she liked it less. Parker wasn't really phased. He's 14. So take that with what it's worth. Levi's 12. So this is just not up his alley, I guess. Yeah, I was not a fan, though, ultimately.
Okay.
Did not love it. Did not love it.
Let's go.
All right, you ready to get into spoilers?
Yep.
All right.
Spoiler
warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
I think we're here.
Okay. All right. You want to start or you want me to start?
I want to start before you poo all over my parade.
Great.
I liked how he did just the whole story. I liked how the movie was called Glass, and Glass, like, you didn't see him that much, but then you realize that it is actually about glass and what he does, because at the end he just goes next level, I guess.
Does he? Does he go next level?
I think so, yeah.
Let's walk through this.
Hold on.
Shall we? Okay.
Hold on. No.
All right.
And I was kind of disappointed that at the end they all died.
Man, that was stupid.
Can I finish before you...
Sorry. I was trying to agree with you on that point. Yes, I'll be silent. I'm going to mute my mic so I don't talk.
No. No. At the end, when they all died, it's kind of it was just disappointing, but also, like, it was very... It made it almost more real for me. It's kind of like the X-Men versus Sentinels, where Sentinels always come in, they want to kill the X-Men, they never do. But these people kind of like succeeded in that aspect, and I was like, dang, they killed all the superheroes or all the people with powers, and it's just kind of crazy. And I like the end where she's walking out, and she realizes the therapist realizes what's happening, and she just like screams. You hear her scream like, "Yes, F you, lady, F you." All right, you can talk now.
All right, I unmuted my mic. Okay, first of all, I didn't. The fact that Mr. Glass had a little medallion thing that said MG for Mr. Glass. Come on,
this guy was all in on that theory.
I know, all in on the superhero comic book that he's a comic book character. Cool. Yeah. All right, got it. Was it a good plan? Did he outsmart everyone? Was his plan good?
Yeah.
Was it? Because he sure went through a lot of effort to get to that point.
Dude, they went through a lot of effort.
Including letting himself be, like, captured.
Yeah.
But if he's so smart, why did that have to be what it took?
Maybe that's what... I don't know. Maybe that's what it had to be. But the fact that, like, he literally did the whole... The Clover, whatever they are, that company, the people with Clover stamp.
Yep.
Their whole goal was to basically kill all superheroes or all people with powers.
Yes, kind of.
Yeah, and make it seem like not exist, because people would awaken if they knew, like, they could awaken their powers from, like, knowing, or from just or from another superhero being there.
Yeah, from being empowered by others.
Yes, or just seeing it and realizing, oh, maybe I have powers over. Like, yeah. And he literally did, like, the worst thing for them, and just literally awakened.
Did he thousands? Because why did this have to be the case to accomplish that?
I don't know, man. Ask Mr. Glass. He was the
would love
man
to
behind the brains,
but he let himself and everyone else get killed, and that was obviously his plan. The whole time. But why does that have to be the case? Like, why do they have to die? Both from in the movie setting and then out external of the movie. Like, if he's literally so smart that he's outsmarting everyone, you can't figure out a way to do this, to show the world that heroes and villains, super people exist.
Maybe he did it because he wanted the heroes to unite and combat the Clover people.
But they don't know about those people. They don't know about those people.
But they know all three of them died. They know Glass died. They know.
No. I'm saying that the other heroes. I don't think so. I mean, what do they know?
I think he said something about like there's an agency, something that's trying to.
But how do they know who they are? They don't have a clue.
Right, but just knowing that they exist is a huge step too.
I think that's a stretch. I think you're giving him more credit.
I'm not Mr. Glass, man. I'm not Mr. Glass. I'm just saying, like I had a reason. He had a reason for everything. All right.
I don't think his motivation made sense. Made more sense than
stop poo-pooing all my stuff, man.
I guess Ellie, was that Sarah Paulson's character?
That's the therapist?
Yeah.
Okay.
So her plan, let me get this straight. Her plan, which she described in great detail at the end of the movie, was to find super people and to convince them that they're not superheroes. Is that right? Like, that's the first part. And then if that doesn't work, then kill them.
Yes.
Okay. So she believes that by convincing someone that they're not a superhero will make them not superpowered?
Yes. I think so
if she told Mr. Glass that he's not really smart, then he ceases being really smart?
On that level, I think so, yes, if he believes it. I think that was inner turmoil the Beast was having.
Yes.
Where the Horde...
That one at least makes sense, because, first of all, you're dealing with a person that has dissociative identity disorder. So there's already going to be significant inner conflict within that. But, like, what if, like, how... I just don't see how every superpower you can convince someone that they don't have a superpower.
Well, if
hey, I know you think you can fly, but are you sure you're not just like a good jumper for a long time? Like, you can just jump really far for a long time, and you're just not a superhero. But you can just jump really far.
We haven't seen anyone fly.
No, but okay. No, but the point is, like...
I mean, it was working, though. It was working for all of them except Mr. Glass.
Okay.
And that's why she wanted to, like, literally basically go and kill him.
Additionally, okay, first of all, what did that machine do? What was that machine supposed to do?
I don't know, do something with his brain.
Yeah, we don't know. Like, it was ambiguous, of course.
That didn't matter though. Like we knew what it was supposed to do, and that's all that mattered.
We don't know what it was supposed to do. What was
basically, it was supposed to like neuter him of his like being super ridiculously smart.
So they're gonna give him a lobotomy?
Yeah.
So that wasn't clear.
Yes, but you knew that like that machine was gonna make him less powerful or less smart, right?
This was another part,
and that was enough.
Like,
if you knew that was enough.
Dude, so half of the movie is so ambiguous because they don't explain anything, and then the things that are obvious, they beat you over the head with the exposition, like just explaining everything. It's like, well, do you think we're dumb or do you not think we're dumb?
I don't agree with that, man.
I think but okay. Anyway, so also Sarah Paulson's character, so she tells them, she's like, okay, so I have you for 3 days, and at the end of the 3 days, then I don't have you anymore. And she basically told them that in 3 days, her goal is to convince them that they're not superheroes. That's a terrible strategy. That's an awful strategy.
That's probably why she failed.
Yeah, why would you tell someone you have 3 days? Why would you tell someone that? Like, she told them that like at the point blank.
Yeah, I mean, she helped Mr. Glass a lot more than she meant to, I think. Like, also telling him there's cameras everywhere was also stupid.
Yeah, but like, her character. And that's the thing. Like, how, like, Mr. Glass is just really smart, but he doesn't have, like, he can't see into the future.
No.
So what was his plan going in? Because he let himself get captured, because I have to believe that he's smart enough to not get captured otherwise.
I can't remember how he got captured in Unbreakable.
Either way, I don't know. Let's move on. Speaking of being captured, I understand this movie is fiction, but I'm pretty sure you can't just kidnap a private citizen and then lock them up and then subject them to tests, because that's what they did to David Dunn.
For being a vigilante, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think you can't just do that.
Sure. Like,
come on. Like maybe eventually, like, he's got to go through it, but you're not just like, all right, we arrested you, time to go into the insane asylum and we're going to experiment on you. At least with the other person, he's like a wanted criminal with James McAvoy's character. Yeah. Yep. That at least makes sense. Like, he could be like clinically diagnosed with a mental health disorder, as they view it, and that would be an appropriate place for him. But they literally just captured someone else.
Yeah, the good guy. Yeah, no, he means like she even said that though, or yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's not legal in any way, and it was all very public too. So I just don't know how that made any sense. Also, how are you gonna start a shared universe, like a cinematic universe with films, and kill all of your characters in the first movie, or maybe not the first movie, but like the movie that's like kicking everything off?
I think it's kind of cool though. Like that's different.
It sure is. It's definitely different.
Yes, it is. It's an origin story. It's an origin story where like the three main heroes died. I had fun. I had fun with this movie. I understand you're like analyzing everything and like it bugs you that some things don't connect. It's fantasy. It's superhero based. I enjoyed it. I also like the questions I was asking was if Glass created Split and Unbreakable, or like Unbreakable becoming who he is, eventually created Glass or created a Split, because that's what they said. Like when one good guy awakens, a bad guy awakens. I wonder who the opposite of Mr. Glass is, because I originally thought it was the Unbreakable guy, but if Split's the opposite of Unbreakable, then who's the opposite of Glass?
Don't know. It was very. They kind of just threw that in there when they were just like, oh, by the way, Mr. Glass killed your parents kind of on purpose. And he's like, I did. I created everyone. I'm crazy. I'm the mastermind.
Well, okay.
I mean, I'm agreeing with you.
I like it.
I'm agreeing with you. No, I'm agreeing with you. Like, that just did. I just don't. I guess it was left ambiguous on purpose, but I also they just like threw that in there.
What? That when one awakens and another one awakens?
No, that's okay. No, but just that, like, Wendell Crumb's dad was on the train that, like, David Dunn was on 20 years ago, and he died on the train. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, do you not think it was, like, kind of, like, cool, and I don't understand in a bad way, but cool that, like, the good guy actually died? Like, he got drowned to death by a freaking cop, at the very least, and the cop afterward is, like, still there, watching the kid cry because his dad died, and just... I had so much hate.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Anger. That was pretty brutal. Also, it's like, that's not, like... First of all, it's real brutal to drown in a puzzle after you've basically had the crap beaten out of you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That just seemed like a weird decision to me, to drown him in a puddle.
Well, that's his kryptonite, like water. He becomes powerless and like just super weak.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean, that's what it was, though.
No, I know. I don't disagree, but I'm also trying to think of a scenario where where that same thing wouldn't happen to every single person.
What do you mean?
Like, if you got beaten up and then you were really weak, you could drown in a puddle too. Kryptonite, for sure. Or not, right?
Right, but he couldn't even fight back at all. Like with his hands, like he was just like completely done. Like he was just.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it was
sure. Like, well, his thing is he has his bones are basically like made of like steel.
Yeah, yeah. That's why the beast couldn't break him.
Yeah, exactly.
By that bear hug thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that doesn't mean that his lungs are made of steel.
No.
So, but in that sense, like his weakness is water, but like you drowned him. That's not like a superhero weakness. That's just a weakness for everyone. Like if you drown someone, then they're gonna die.
But it is superhero weakness because he became like extremely weak, more so than just water hurts a normal person. Like
no,
it was
but it's not just water. It's not like he just got wet. It's like he would literally had the crap beat out of him.
Yeah, and it's all bio-soaked water too. But like he couldn't even scream for help. Like when
yeah, but I'm saying like any person in that scenario, the exact same thing is going to happen.
Well, but with a person that can with scream for help or say something,
I don't think so.
They killed him around literally innocent. They killed him around like people beside bystanders, and he couldn't do anything. I thought that was pretty brutal, and then she comes over, and she's like talking to him, and I just want to punch her in the face.
I wasn't as impressed. I just wasn't as impressed by that part of the movie in particular, because it's not like.
Fair. Well, I mean, I don't think you. You liked the movie. You gave it the same rating as Cloverfield Paradox, which is terrible.
I did, and
yeah. So I gave the same rating as Deadpool, which is a lot better. So
yeah, it's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah, nah, I did not really enjoy my time. And I liked the other two. Like, I liked Split and Unbreakable, but I just didn't think this movie was that good, in my opinion.
Sure. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it, so I enjoyed it.
That's fair. That's fair. So yeah, I mean, like you said, you rated this as the same thing you rated Deadpool at, and slightly below what you rated the Meg at. So I think it's fair to.
Meg got a 1.
No, the Meg got a 2. You gave the Meg a 2.
A 1.
You did not give the Meg. You gave the Meg a 2. Don't you try to downshift your Meg rating after the fact.
All right.
Anyway, next week we're going to be talking about Prodigy, which is a Netflix movie. So if you have Netflix, go check that one out. You have a week to do so to be joining the conversation. Ollie, anything else on Glass or the Meg?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right. One last thing to say. I think the name of this movie was 2 letters too long.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think it should have just been called Glass. I agree. All right, moving on.
Great. All right. We'll be back in just a second with Question of the Week.
Question of the week.
Man, I was gonna say you know what it's time for, but you do know what it's time for.
I do.
Yeah, question of the week time. So, Ali Aintrazi, question of the week. Let's talk about a card you've changed your tune about.
Okay.
Prime Speaker Vannifar. Since you love the Simic Combine so much, you've gone on record to say they're your favorite guild and you love everything they do. And this is your favorite legendary creature in the set.
Definitely not true.
So much so that you actually reached the mythic rank on MTG Arena playing a Prime Speaker Vannifar deck. True or not true?
That is true.
See, I knew it. Question of the week. Ali Aintrazi, #1 Simic Combine fan.
Not true.
Prime Speaker Vannifar top 8? A Prime Speaker Vannifar Good Lord. Prime Speaker Vannifar deck. Top 8 and open or better before War of the Spark comes out.
Yeah, I think so. Like you said, I wasn't very hyped by this card, but after playing it, I've realized it definitely has potential, and people just gotta figure out the right build. Just like Birthing Pod. Birthing Pod took a while for people to figure out numbers on cards, how high you should go, how low you should go, which creature's good, which creature's bad. And Prime Speaker makes like random creatures that you think are normally unplayable somehow playable because of her ability. And I think by the time she will top 8, especially after I saw like what she could do and how much of a catalyst she is and how much options she gives you, I think the key thing about Prime Speaker Vannifar is to not fully build around her. Like, don't fully rely, like, be all in on her. Yeah, just make sure the deck functions without her, and then when she's there, she's just like a super catalyst that propels you to victory. So yeah, so my answer is yes, with that long explanation.
Okay, that's you make a lot of good points. I'm still going to hold strong with no. The reason being is that I do think this card is better than I was giving it credit for. I will agree to that, but I think that in a tournament setting, I think you have to jump through too many hoops over the course of an event to kind of get in a situation where your opponents are letting you do your thing. And I think that's just really hard to do over the course of like a long tournament. And I think that if it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen soon, like in the next couple of weeks. But with this card pool, where there's not anything that's... it's like, basically Vannifar is doing value-oriented stuff, not like combo-oriented stuff. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think because of that it's just not. I don't think it breaks through. I think you get near misses, but I don't think it breaks through. So I mean I think we're going into SCG Indianapolis, which is the first major standard tournament for Ravnica Allegiance. I mean, I could be wrong immediately. I certainly could be wrong. And as we said in I was joking, but in seriousness, you did take this deck to mythic level on Arena. So it's not nothing. That's something to be said for it, for sure. But I'm still going to go with no.
Okay.
All right. So, Ollie, where can people find you on the Twitter?
On Twitter, it's twitter.com/Ali Aintrazi. I write for coolstuffinc.com. I'm doing my standard set review for Ravnica Allegiance. A set comes out, a guild in color comes out every week. Make sure to check that out. I also stream at twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for sure from 5 to 11. I usually stream a lot more than that, but those are the guaranteed days. And then you can also find my videos on YouTube, which is youtube.com/thinktwicemtg. And I've posted like 5 or 6 stream highlights since Ravnica Allegiance came out. So if you want to check those out, make sure to check them out.
Awesome. All right. You can find me on Twitter at jparnell1. You can also find me on Star City Games and YouTube and twitch.tv/SCG Tour for Commander Versus. We stream Commander Versus now at 5 p.m. every Wednesday. And of course, around 11 a.m. every Wednesday, it's up on YouTube the next week. So you can check that out. If you want to contact this show, search, or you can go to ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter, or you can email thinktwicemtg@gmail.com, and you can find the show by searching ThinkTwiceMTG on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and Spotify. And as Ollie said, youtube.com/ThinkTwiceMTG to catch this show, as well as my free-to-play Arena Series Journey of Discovery and Ollie's stream highlights, which there are numerous of. You definitely want to check those out. You can also go to patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG to support the show. A lot of great rewards tiers. I'll be honest, I have been late sending out the ones for January so far. Well, the ones, I guess, from December, but for this month. But hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, those will be out. It's just I've been busier than anticipated, and I was lazy this weekend, just to be honest with everyone. I'm sorry. That's on me. It's not on Ollie, so don't blame him. You can blame director John Choi, though. He's not responsible, but feel free to blame him. Just saying.
All
right. Ollie, do you have an animal picture of the week?
I do. Speaking of director Choi, I'm going to go with Peter Barker.
This seems like it's an inside job.
You've won Animal of the Week. Peter Barker's laying there beside like a little stool. He's like long, but bigger than a normal Dachshund. He's adorable. So
okay, I'm gonna go with Freddy, who is Raggy's pupper, who looks so happy for a car ride. And even though this was a picture that was posted several months ago, like in the middle of last year.
Yeah.
It was reposted last week, so this is my pick. It's just a great picture.
I love his eyes.
Yeah.
So. Love the dog's eyes, yeah.
I think it's one blue, one brown.
Yep.
Good on you, Freddie. All right. We do want to give a special thanks to our Agent Bolus producers, Daniel Hunt and Matt Lindell, and of course our director producer John Shea, which you can blame in addition to me for stuff, just in general. So if you feel like that you don't want to just blame me, then you can blame him.
All right. Fair enough.
Next week, Prodigy on Netflix. Watch that to be joining that conversation. That's the show. Thank you guys for listening so much. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.